Sit comfortably. Gather yourself in this space, in this safe space. Allow yourself to sit and be present to yourself. Above all, not your thoughts, not your worries, not your fears, not even your hopes or dreams, but just making room for yourself to safely sit here. That's all. Just for a few minutes. This is the moment where it is crucial for us to remember that above all things, before your fears or symptoms and patterns of depression, all that negative talk, before they started to take over and occupy the precious real estate in your mind, in your heart, there was you, free and kind to yourself, tolerant of yourself, accepting of yourself. So without getting into too much heady stuff, I just want to encourage you to take this precious time as you find yourself a comfortable seat, preferably with the feet touching the ground, comfortably, but grounded nevertheless. See if you can observe the breath coming in and going out through the nostrils. And if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, you may do so. Otherwise, you can just leave them open. But try to have the eyes be softly open if that's the case. It is important for us to consider that in this day and age, many of us are plagued with depression, with sadness, with all kinds of negative scenarios playing in our heads based out of fear of what ifs, and usually having negative scenarios, negative outcomes in our minds, that we start to shrink into ourselves, we start to constrict from all sides, and our internal space becomes so small that it makes us have a difficulty to even breathe, let alone think straight. So in this practice, I'm going to guide you to slowly reverse that motion of constriction, and instead we're going to be expanding and creating that tolerant, loving, all-embracing space for ourselves to create this sense of safety that we can carry with us wherever we are, and especially when we feel down so, bringing our attention to the breath coming in through the nostrils, just observe and witness the breath, the inhale as it comes in. We're not forcing the inhalation, and we're not forcing the exhalation. And in both cases, we do not hold the breath once we've inhaled, nor do we keep the breath out when we've exhaled. So keeping this ebb and flow of the breath as it finds its way in through our bodies, through the nostrils. See if you can begin to slowly become aware of the differences in the flavor of the breath, in the pattern of the breath, in the characteristics of the breath. See if it is shallow at one point or deep at another. In the meantime, you might find a certain body part, perhaps the chest or the heart, feeling that it needs to breathe a little bit more, or breathe deeper, or even feel like it needs to sigh. Go ahead and do so. Throughout this simple exercise, this self-soothing exercise, the goal is to find that language, that bridge between the mind and the body. Remember, wherever the mind goes, that's where the body follows. Keep awareness of the breath coming in and leaving the body, and then coming back in on its own. You're just observing, that's all. That's all. As we become more intimate with the breath and silently watch the breath, what we're doing is we're building a bridge between the brain, the mind, in fact, and the body. Brick by brick, that bridge is built. Breath by breath, that bridge is built. As we're doing so, we're creating more room, more space, more tolerance of ourselves as we are. This sacred space is what will allow us to come back to this state of serenity and tranquility of mind when things are just too wild otherwise for us to handle. So the most important part of our lives then becomes maintaining that tranquility of mind which we've established through this practice. The more we do these exercises. So see if your mind is still on the breath, quietly observing the inhalation and the exhalation. And at this point, see if the body invites you to a certain area, perhaps into your chest, that soft area around your heart, the heart that needs protection. Perhaps your heart is hurt Perhaps trust has been damaged, or sadness may be dwelling around your heart. All of these cause the heart to feel constricted, defenseless, unsafe. So with this practice, we will be doing just the opposite, offering it safety, offering it kindness and love, offering it softness, and absolutely defend it. Love is not weak. Kindness is not weak. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, see if you can imagine your lungs, your nostrils are there around your heart. And little by little, you notice the tightness around your heart or any other area of your body that felt constricted to begin with. Open up slowly, gently, like the petals of a lotus flower. With every breath, all of a sudden, a petal just opens up on its own. Take as much time as you need, doing this exercise as often as you need, in order for you to feel more and more in tune with this practice. And now see if your body invites you to expand your awareness even further, perhaps around your torso, your gut, your stomach. See if your back wants to get some of that juicy awareness, that kind, tolerant attitude that you softly spread around your body with every inhalation and exhalation. And with every inhalation and exhalation, think of it as if there's a transparent bubble that's developing from within you and slowly, slowly expanding around your body. That is your natural, wonderful, innate shield of protection. Developing. As you breathe in and out, notice the sense of constriction that was felt earlier because of the depression, because of the sadness of being overwhelmed, of feeling overwhelmed by various conditions, causes. See instead your focus dropping into your body and developing more and more of this shield as it starts to spread now even a few millimeters outside your skin, outside your outline of your body, enveloping you, developing itself, growing in color, in size and shape as you're breathing in and you're breathing out, like the ebb and flow of the ocean, softly caressing the sand. Meanwhile, see if you can go ahead and Raise the corners of your lips. You're not smiling to anyone other than yourself, other than your heart. With every breath, life is promising us a new beginning. With every exhale, that is an opportunity for us to relinquish our attachment to the hurt that we felt, the pain of yesterday, the sadness in our eyes. Slowly, slowly, as the shield expands, we find ourselves lighter in our gaze. And suddenly, we breathe a little bit better, as if that extra weight on our chest has been removing itself as the shield protects us more and more. And now, that shield is taken on this golden color. And it's several inches, perhaps even a few feet away from our outline of the body. And we're safely sitting in this wonderfully safe, secure cocoon of protection. This is your sacred space. Whatever happens, it is happening outside the shield, and you're protected within the shield. To reconnect with the body, the breath needs to be there. Slowly notice if there's any particular areas of your body that still want attention. If you're holding on to a sense of undesirable connection to a negative, bad, nasty scenario or possibility of something bad which have been causing you more depression, see if you can just take your nostrils and your lungs and breathe into that area. And create that sense of soft opening there instead of the constricted, closed fist that kept things tight, knotted. So as it gets this awareness flowing in through the breath, mindfully, become more and more aware of the way that your body is becoming more and more flowy, less obstructed. Remember to smile. And if you drift away, that's totally fine, perfectly okay. If there's a noise outside, that's okay. That's just a reminder that we're not in control of things that happen outside of us. The only thing we can control, truly, is the way we react, our attitudes towards the things that are happening outside, coming in from the outside. So as we're developing the shield, which gets fueled by our love, genuine love this healthy, selfish, kind, loving kindness that is developing it, is what makes the shield stronger. The skin feels softer on our bodies. Stay with the breath. And if by any chance you've been focusing a lot, whether to listen to my voice or to follow the imagery or to follow the breath, lighten up. It's a fun exercise. So if you've been frowning, trying to concentrate, it's okay. Laugh at yourself. Loosen up the forehead. Breathe into that area. Be kind. Be soft and gentle. As you slowly come back to this room, before you open your eyes, I would like you to keep this shield of protection, your secret. No one needs to know, except for you, that it exists. The mind is the most powerful force in the universe. After all, that's how depression began in the first place. Now we're using the mind to become free of not only depression, but any other kind of negative state. We're not running away from anything. We're just changing our attitude towards the situations. Starting with ourselves. After all, that's the only person we're in charge of. So starting with the way we look at ourselves, with a smile to ourselves. Starting with a forgiveness of ourselves before we forgive anyone else or any situation. Continuing to observe the breath. Slowly, from wherever the awareness was, whether it was in the feet, around the knees, in the heart or the back, or the forehead, just gently bring the awareness back to the nostrils. When the time is right for you, slowly open up your eyes. The shield is there, but it needs your attention. It needs your positive energy. Most depressive symptoms occur because of the negative self-talk that we continuously, dedicatedly, and relentlessly use against ourselves. So by doing this exercise at least once per day, you will be turning the tides, as it were, and becoming more cognizant how your negative thoughts and your negative thinking is in fact baseless most of the time. We drag the past into the present. We drag the future into the present. And we sacrifice the present for those two that don't exist. One is past and the other one is not even here. The only thing we have is this moment. So greet each moment with a smile while you stay nicely, safely in this wonderfully golden shell of protection that is impenetrable. If you can, do this exercise twice, once in the morning, once at night. May you be happy and peaceful.